This is by far my favorite iteration of my EDC bag that I've put together. It's pretty small, relatively compact, and does the two things that I need it to, namely productivity and entertainment. And it's definitely a lot smaller than my previous version. My previous version of my EDC bag was in a ridiculously large duffel bag, and some of you pointed out it was a little obscene. So I pared it down into a much, much smaller bag. And if you're interested in the bag, I'll link it in the description. I just wanted something very small that I could actually grab and walk around with, take it to a coffee shop, take it to crowded areas, and not feel like I had this giant, bulky thing on me. As always, we will start with what's on the outside and work our way in. On the single sling, I have my keys hanging off of there. On the front, this is like a little radio pouch. This is basically my ouch pouch for very minor first aid. I just got a couple band-aids in there. I think I have a single nitrile glove in there. I got some ibuprofen, burn gel kit, just some like super simple stuff, like things you're normally likely to get just on a day-to-day basis. This one here, this is all of my charging stuff. The biggest thing that we're gonna have in here is my ridiculous 50,000 milliamp hour battery bank. It's some like 192 watt hours. A little excessive for most people, but my EDC is very, very technology focused, so I wanna make sure I got all the power I need on the go. There's a couple extra little pockets on here. I've just got a little pair of earbuds with a 3.5 millimeter connection. However, I know that a lot of devices coming out nowadays do not have a 3.5 millimeter audio jack, so I did prep myself by getting a little adapter to USB-C. Some of the upgrades I want to make in the future will necessitate one of these. Then down here, I tried to simplify my charging cords to as efficiently as possible. I've got a charging brick, and I wanted to find one that had two USB-C charging ports on it, since all of my charging is mostly USB-C with one exception, which I'll get into. I wanted something with folding prongs so that it tucks away and stays out of the way when it's in this front pouch here. With the two USB-C ports, it's 47 watts combined total, split between the two ports, so it's like 27 and 20 watts. However, if it's just a single port being used, it will fast charge up to 45 watts on a single USB-C port. Then I've got two high power USB-C to USB-C cables. I tried to simplify all my stuff to just USB-C charging so that I'm not carrying 1,000,001 different charging cords. The only exception is a USB-A to USB-C, which is needed for one device I have, which I guess I'll get into now. So if we flip the bag around to the other side, this Molly pouch is the newest addition to the outside of my bag. I only put this on like a week and a half ago, something like that. Mostly empty right now. It's there for some future upgrades that I have planned, which I'll talk about at the end of the video. The only thing worth mentioning that's in here right now is this, the first of a few gaming-oriented devices in here. It's the Anbernic RG35XXH. Mostly this is used for emulation. It can run up to N64 and PlayStation 1 games, and it's so small and compact. I really love this thing, and for whatever reason, these things do not like USB-C to USB-C charging. It'll only take a charge if it's USB-A for some reason, so that's why I have that single little USB-A to USB-C cable. And that just gently slides in the front like that. The only other thing I have on the side pouch is my little stylus that I got from the dollar store for all my touchscreen devices. I really don't like touching my touchscreen devices because I got oily fingers, smudges up the screen, it just starts looking really nasty. So I started using a stylus for all my touchscreen stuff. In the very front of the pouch, this is where I've just got light tools and stuff that I use. I still have a cloth mask in here. Annoying smells really bother me, like cigarette smoke, stuff like that. I'm not a smoker. It makes me feel kind of sick. This helps a lot. Got some cutlery in there. I probably want to condense this into something a little bit more simple, and this actually come in handy quite a few times while we're out. We get takeout. A lot of times they forget to put in cutlery into the bag. I've got a little bandana in there that I mostly use as like a cleaning cloth or a very light towel if I get a little water on me or something, or I need to clean up something that's spilled. Some duct tape in there just to make any emergency repairs, and this has actually come in handy. When we were in Halifax last year, the pair of shorts that I had a split form in the crotch, and I didn't have any other clothes with me, so I had to use some duct tape and tape the inside of my pants to try and get the seam to stay together. I have in here a small multi-tool from Sale Outdoors. This multi-tool is probably the most garbage, useless multi-tool I've ever had. You can see that the scissors don't like to stay recessed. I can't tell you how many times that I've poked myself with that. And that's not even the worst part. So here's the knife. You know what sucks about this knife? It doesn't lock. So when I'm using it, I have to be very careful, because if I put any pressure on this in the wrong way, there goes my finger. And the last thing I have in here is just a really small flashlight. It's the Pokelit AA. Pokelit. I don't quite know how to pronounce that. I really love this thing. It uses a single AA battery, but it also takes these lithium batteries. They're almost the same form factor, but they're lithium, and because they're lithium, they actually have a higher voltage. I think this is it's a 3.7 volt rated battery. But what's unique about these is oftentimes they have a built-in USB-C charging port right on the battery. As for the main compartment of this kind of like lower section of the bag here, this is where I mostly keep all of my stuff that will normally get put into my pockets. I've got my outdated passport, which needs to be replaced. I've got my primary wallet. I don't know if you watched my video, almost exactly, actually I think as of today, exactly a year ago, I started using 3D printed everyday carry, and I'm still using this wallet. I'll do an updated video on that, I think actually for my next video. This is still my daily carry wallet. I've been using this for a year straight. My business card holder, which has my Mike in the Woods name on it. I actually have to replace these business cards because I'm actually doing a bit of a rebrand with the channel. You may have seen some stuff like my new banner. The channel name is being changed to just my name, Mike's Again. Yeah, things are changing with the channel a little bit. I've got this soft bag that my sunglasses came in, and that just lets me keep my sunglasses in my bag. But also it's got a sunglasses cleaning cloth in there, which also doubles as my cleaning cloth for my electronics in here. I've got chapstick. I've got my other wallet. This is not my primary wallet. All I have in here is any secondary cards that I don't need to carry with me on a day-to-day basis in my pocket. And the last thing that's in here is just a tiny little notepad. It's like a sticky note, but it's lined. It's a little worse for wear. I should probably replace this. All right, now for the upper compartment that I have on here, this is where I keep a whole bunch of crap actually. So I've just got a little shopping bag in here that's in a little folded up sack. I've got 2 pens. I actually don't know why I have 2 in there. I just need 1. Sharpie, little measuring tape. Another one of my 3D printed EDC items, which is my micro SD card holder. You can see I've got a couple of micro SD cards in there, a micro SD to SD card adapter, and a micro SD to USB adapter. A lot of my devices in here, they're on the compact side, and so they use micro SD as their primary external storage format. Like the Anbernic device I was talking about earlier, it uses a micro SD card to hold the OS and all of the games and stuff on it. So if I want, I could transfer that over to computer and load some stuff on there. Then I have in here a Nintendo Switch game holder, because I do have a Switch inside of the main compartment. And that just holds up to 4 Nintendo Switch games. Pretty shitty print quality on the name, but that's my gaming channel. And that's just printed out of box standard PLA. This is a more recent edition, like last week I added this in. And the only other thing in this top section is my 1 terabyte flash drive. And when I bought a flash drive, I was looking for something very specific. I wanted one that had dual ends to it, both USB and USB-C. And now for the main compartment where all of the fun stuff is. All right, we'll start with all the boring stuff first. I know you guys are more interested in the tech stuff. In this flap that comes, that's like stuck to some Velcro on the inside, there's a zippered compartment right here, and all I have in there, I did have a Cliff Bar, which I just ate like 2 days ago. I gotta replace it. I've also got a very portable rain poncho, mostly not for me. It's for the bag because of all the electronics I got in there. Some napkins, bottle of hand sanitizer. Also in the very back, on like the inside against the back that would sit against my back, there is a small zippered compartment. In addition to being my EDC bag, this is also something called a whoosh bag. It's got like important documents and stuff like that, so that if you wake up in the middle of the night and you know your house is on fire and you gotta just go, you have all your important stuff with you. I got physical hard copies of my insurance documentation for the apartment and for my cars, other important documents. You get the idea. I've got my e-reader, which is a Kobo Clara 2e. Really helpful, handy little e-ink device. You know, I'm like most people, I prefer to have physical copies of books. You've seen my collection of all of my Halo novels and stuff like that in the background of some of my videos, but it's really not all that convenient for being out on the go, especially if I'm on like a road trip. I can have all the books I want to read contained on something the size of this. Also in here, as you probably guessed based on the Nintendo Switch games, I've got a Nintendo Switch Lite. In order to keep as much space in here as possible, I don't have a hard case for it. I just have this really soft bag that I use to basically just protect the screen and keep dust away from it. Another part of my 3D printed EDC, I've got not 1, but 2 folding tablet stands, and these are used for my phone, which is a Red Magic 10 Pro, which is way too large for my old phone stand. This can handle everything from my phone up to my Nintendo Switch, both of my tablets. It can even handle my ROG Ally, which I'll talk about later. I've got my Android tablet, which is a Lenovo Tab M9, definitely an outdated tablet by today's standards. The screen isn't all that great. Any fast motion gives me ghosting, but it's it's good for putting on some YouTube while I'm doing the dishes in the living room, and just really good to have as a secondary device. This is mostly for media and entertainment. Also in here, I've got my main portable computer, which is a Microsoft Surface Go. This is the first generation of Microsoft Surface Go, and it is definitely starting to show its age. It is very slow, very unresponsive. I wrote my entire first novel on this thing. This is in dire need of a replacement, but for now, this still works. I do have the battery charge capped at 50%. Because of that, it is barely seen any battery degradation. When I'm working on my novels on the go, this is what I use. I could do some light programming on this thing, but like I said, it's really shown its age and is really, really slow with that sort of thing. And the last thing that I have in here is my Chromebook. It's the CM30, I think. Obviously, I've got that Surface Go, but that thing is horrendous on battery, especially these days when it chugs to do the most basic of tasks. If I'm out and about throughout the day and I don't have access to a power source and I want to be a little bit more conservative with my battery, these things sip power. This thing gets like 8 to 10 hours of battery. I'm debating keeping this in. It is a little bit overkill to have both this and my Windows tablet in here. I specifically wanted one that was this small, this size, this form factor, because it's just like the Surface Go, and then it's a tablet and the keyboard attaches almost identically to how the Surface Go attaches. This is almost at the like maximum of what I'd be able to put in there size-wise. Like it's a bit of a tight fit in there. So that is everything that I keep in here right now. And I have a whole crap ton of things that I want to change and upgrade. So another thing that I actually like to take out with me is a handheld gaming PC. I've got my ROG Ally. Fantastic thing to have for gaming. However, this in its current form factor is a little too big, too bulky to fit into my EDC bag, mostly because of the controllers. So basically right now I have to carry it around in a completely separate bag, which is really annoying to do. So what I want to do is replace this with a Lenovo Legion Go 2. Not only is the Lenovo Go 2 a more powerful handheld PC, the Lenovo Legion Go 2 has quite a few advantages over my ROG Ally. The first is that the controllers actually detach, just like a Nintendo Switch. And so the reason I bought this black pouch for the side of my bag here is that one of these pouches I can keep the controller sections in, and the main tablet section itself, which will be much more thinner and more optimized to stack in here with the rest of my stuff. It's just a lot more like space conscious. It's larger. It's got an 8.8 inch screen, I think, whereas the ROG Ally is 7. So in addition to playing games, one thing that I like to do is actually make games. Handheld gaming PCs are literally built for games. So the Microsoft Surface Go that I have in here, I want to replace that with something newer. Microsoft came out with the Surface Pro 12-inch, the 2025 version, and I did the math. I literally cut out a cardboard representation of the size and tested it with the bag. The Surface Pro 12-inch just barely fits in here. Like, we're talking like the corners are being stretched out in the bag, but it fits. I might replace my Surface Go with that, or if I get that Lenovo Legion Go 2, maybe I can just get a little Bluetooth keyboard and mouse and use that as my primary Windows workstation on the go. And the very last thing that's on the to-buy list that I want to daily carry, the AYN Thor that just came out. It's a clamshell, dual-screen, Android-based little gaming system, and that thing's actually pretty powerful. That'll basically complete every tech upgrade that I have planned for this this little EDC bag. And that's quite a lot of stuff that got jam-packed in here. It's very space efficient. Let me know what you guys think. Is this a little bit overboard, a little overkill? I use everything in here. Nothing feels like dead weight or wasted space. And so if you're into tech and outdoors adventuring, subscribe if you're into that shit.